Good morning. A very early start for me today. I'm next to a lock. No boats will be coming through yet though. I'll be very surprised indeed if I get any movement whatsoever apart from the dip and the sailing away of the float. That's the intention anyway. I've just cast out. I've got some brown crumb maggots. The brown crumb on this occasion is quite firm because there's water movement, so I need to get it to the bottom quickly, because if I just put loose maggots in, they'll be washed around and they'll be settling some distance away from the float itself. You want the bait that you put in down there as quickly as you can on the deck. And I've cast out, watching that float, and I'll be making me my first cup of tea of the day. You have to look after yourself, don't you? It's quite easy this morning to go fishing. I didn't set the alarm. I thought after a busy few days I'll just get up naturally. I don't take too long to recover when I've had a busy few days. All I need is a few hours sleep and I'm ready to go. Made the flask, get the maggots out the fridge, get the car loaded, and I'm on my way. First movement on the float there. I haven't been here too long. It's a slight movement across the water. It's not disappearing just yet though. And when I say across the water, I mean just an inch or so. So I'm not going to strike just yet, waiting for it to develop. Whenever you get a bite, unless it's a wrap around from a barbel and it's off, or a carp that picks up a hair-rig boilie, of course, you have to imagine, work out what's going on beneath the surface of the water. And that enables you to strike at the right time. Now that didn't develop, so I knew to lift it out the water itself, drop it back in. Maggots weren't sucked. You can tell when it's a roach bite, or sometimes the fish will pick up the bait and then maybe sense that something isn't quite right, and they drop it again. Anyway, back out there. Let's see if we can get take two. I've been here about 20 minutes now, and after that movement on the float, I've had nothing at all. And I'm beginning to wonder whether it was a bite or a fish inquiry wasn't a bite. Because there is a slight flow there, and the float is moving a little bit, so I'm not 100% sure. So that's how minimal it was in terms of fish interest, if it was indeed. I do find though that next to locks it can be quite hit and miss as far as the perch are concerned, but I also find that that's where I catch the big ones. In fact, my last lure session where I had a good perch, which was only last week or so, was by a lock. One fish, and it was a decent one. So it is definitely a case of quality over quantity. You're not fishing a big area either, as you are on the open canal, where you've got lots of space either side. It's quite tight. Not quite fishing in a garden pond or an aquarium, but relatively speaking, it is much, much tighter than it is out in the open water, if we could use that phrase. So you do have to be very quiet. I'm in a tight spot. I'm on top of the fish. I've got my rod along the area where I'm fishing so that it's not hanging over too much. You don't want to spook the fish. The water isn't clear like it would be in the winter. We've had a night where it's been allowed to settle, but nevertheless, it's all about watercraft, being quiet, fishing the swim in the right way. Do all that you can, and then It's up to the fish to do the rest, and that's the position I'm in at the moment. But while I wait, I drink tea. So it's not all bad, is it? I've got a fish on this time, and it does seem like a decent one as well. Well, it is. And that was the point I was making just now. However, before I get too carried away, let's net this, shall I? Oh, it's plodding around nicely. I think it's a perch as well. And I'm glad I'm not lure fishing, because sometimes the hook doesn't take very well. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna switch off now. Hopefully I'll be back with a fish. There's the unhooking mat. The fish is on there. I'm going to show you right now, the throat was full of maggots. It still is actually. They're coming out as I pick it up. Do you know what? The hook came out in the net. Well, that was close, a close encounter. But fortunately, the odds were in my favour, and that's how it worked out. Nice perch. I'm certainly happy with that one. Over the years, I've had comments from other anglers, particularly when I've caught a nice fish like I have this morning, and they'll say, how do you catch fish like that? I don't catch them that size on the canal. And I'll say, because I was fishing at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and they'll reply, oh, I can't get up at that time. You won't catch me getting out of bed at that time. And that's your answer, why you don't catch fish like that. Now, I'm not saying you can't catch them during the day, of course, but angling is like life itself. To be successful, to be in with the good fish, you have to put the commitment and the dedication in. And that may mean getting up very early. The old saying, the early bird catches the worm. It's true, and it most definitely is, as far as fishing is concerned. A bird passing overhead, don't know what kind of bird it was, but it pooed on me. I wonder what the chances of that are. It doesn't happen very often, does it? One bite, one fish, one happy angler.